wandering around the show, and the first game that I stop and absolutely have to play is Alien Isolation, because I was very curious about how it was going to work. You can read about it all on paper. Sounds like a great idea, but it's like, how does it work? How's the music? How's the sound? How are the controls? I enjoyed it. What'd you think?
Yeah, I played it earlier this year as well, and yeah, it's my type of game. I like a scary game that scares you through its atmosphere and its sound design, rather than throwing blood and gore at you and telling you you're going to be scared. This game hit all those points for me.
This thing is really creepy. The game is really gorgeous. I was surprised how sometimes it would just freak out randomly and like just run around a room for no reason. Like there were lots of, it was just really quick, and it came out of places I wasn't expecting, and I lost every time. Just for reference, like you have to survive this, you have to get from point A to point B, and I didn't even get I didn't even know where point B was. I didn't even get close to that thing.
Yeah, this was different than what we've seen earlier. This was like a small, I would say it's like a challenge room. It's not connected to the story. There's nothing to do with the narrative. It's just you have some time. They give you a little bit of tools. And then you just kind of have to figure it out and get from point A to point B.
Yeah. And there were little mini achievements, which were interesting. I wonder how they. I mean, the demo tells you right off the bat. It's like maybe trying to do your motion tracker. Yeah, right. I don't know why you wouldn't not use your motion tracker. But I wonder how the game will let you know about those. If there's always achievements depending on the area that you're in, or how those are going to be set up.
Yeah, I mean, who knows? I mean, maybe they'll do a good job of doing it through the environment, or finding documents, or doing something that ties it into the story a little bit more. But yeah, it was great.
How is it different than GDC?
So that was more of like a light single player level. Like it wasn't super heavy on the story, but that was like a slice from like the core game. This felt very structured and rigid, as opposed to what I saw earlier.
What about the controls? I mean, how does it? Did you play it on a different console both times?
I don't know. There's like I can't remember what I played it on, but it could be PC. It could be like who knows.
The thing was very loud. Felt really heavy. Really big feet whenever it was walking around.
Yeah. So yeah, going back to what you said though, like when it went into the room and like freaked out.
Yeah.
This is like a creature that operates on pure instinct.
Yeah.
It really did. It's unpredictable, but predictable movements were a testament to the AI that they really created. And you can see it's like you have no idea what's going to happen. You really don't.
There were definitely some times where you'd see it down at the end of the hallway, and it would turn its head towards me or make a sound, kind of like it might have heard a noise. And I would think like, oh, there's a chance that it could have just been, hearing something or reacting to something. And I'll like sprint to the next room, be like, I'm totally fine. And then it would just catch up with me and be like, no, I saw you, and I'm going to chase you until you hide under something or close a door or trap me.
So would you say it's like a hard game?
I died every single time, and I don't know.
Well, I mean, that's a testament.
I don't know if the games can have a little more give and take. Like I felt that this thing, even though I could get by it and it had no idea where I was, still was kind of wanted to stay in this area. It was still just popping out of areas. I got nabbed once out of the ceiling, which I don't know how the hell I don't see that coming. You shine a flashlight up there maybe or something, but I was just like walking right down a hallway, and he popped, right from the ceiling and grabbed me. But definitely some really tense moments. Lots of great physicality, picking up and using objects, getting under tables, hiding in lockers and stuff.
And you
like
feel
that.
like you have control of that space, right? Sometimes when you're in a first-person perspective, it's hard to gauge, like, am I in view of this thing? Am I not? And you feel like you really have control of that.
Definitely flamethrowered it to the face one time, and it freaked out and ran away. And I thought, I'm like, oh, for sure I'm dead, and it just like pissed it off. Like I don't think I damaged it or anything, but it was kind of fun.
It was a deterrent.
Yeah, to just have this big like ball of fire, and then it goes away and it's gone. Like off into a vent or something. But really fast, really tense. Again, like I wonder if. I mean, nobody I talked to beat this thing, so like,
I
wonder if that was kind of the point. If they really wanted to, if it's we're gonna really encounter that at that point, because she just gets the flamethrower in that demo, so it's like by the time you get the flamethrower, will the game be that difficult, or will it be not necessarily difficult, just spontaneous? Like I just don't know where this thing is, and there were even times where I'd have the motion tracker up, and it looked like it was right on me because the dot's right next to me, but it's actually like up above in the vents, which it seemed to just kind of have unlimited access to. So, Yeah, creepy. It's something I'm really interested. Yeah, again, I just had to play it and had to see how it works. I'm really interested to see how they stretch it out. Any other concerns? Anything you hope that they fix or do, or aspirations?
I mean, it's part of the Aliens universe, right? It's part of the canon, which I think is cool. Is that it's drawing it's between Alien and Aliens. I just hope they nail the story, you know, because that's a big part. Like, sure, we can talk about atmosphere and the way that the game behaves and the mechanics and everything, but it's kind of important for the franchise that this is an interesting piece of the story between those two films.
It was trippy when they called you Ripley.
Like,
demo shots,
no,
like,
totally.
Hey, Ripley, go and do the. You're like Ripley. That's yeah.
Yeah, and then you think about it, it's like, holy shit, this is canon for the series. So,
and just style wise, looked great. There's something about that particular siren sound that goes off in all of the Aliens ships and all the movies that just like goes right into my subconscious. I mean, if you like grew up in the 70s or 80s, you know, I don't know, like how many times you've seen those movies, but it's interesting. It's kind of like Doom. The Doom teaser came out, and the door when that door opened, it's such a classic sound effect, and it's funny, like to play on that nostalgia.
Yeah, they nailed the art design, the style. Everything was really pulled from the first film. Even like their manipulation with VHS is really interesting for all of their menus and the way you operate the UI. They nailed it.
Lots of fun objects to pick up in the environment. You can't really do any like building of anything, but they definitely kind of had, you know, I was wondering if like, am I supposed to use this? I actually totally walked right past the flamethrower the first time I did the demo, and then like remembered in the footage that we got for All Access. I was like, oh yeah, that's like the first thing she does. I should probably go back and do that. It does feel like a shooter when you use weapons. I mean, if it
which makes me think, like, is that going to be another component of this game that they really haven't, you know, touched a lot on? So,
I mean, I look at something like Thief. I know, Mr. Stevens, like when you were playing Thief, you're like, I really like the hands. I really like seeing that because it helps put me in perspective. And like, there isn't any of that. It definitely feels like I'm in a shooter and I'm hiding under the table.
You know,
it just, but it was intuitive. I mean, I didn't have to, you know, I definitely shot that sucker like right in the face. So,
well done.
But I think that's, I don't know, kind of why it's creepy is because you know you're used to playing a shooter, so you're used to these sensibilities of like, this is how I'll get through a sequence, and it's just funny to be like crouched and just kind of like trying to move as fast as you can like towards the door, like.
Yeah, it's great because it forces people to really slow down. In a genre that's, you know, populated by games where you just move forward and, you know, shoot stuff. This is like, take a step back.
Yeah.
You know, develop a strategy as best you can and try to get from this point to this point.
I think one of the other reasons I was curious about it was it would seem to me a tough game to demo, which is maybe why the thing was so aggressive that it couldn't like let its AI kind of run wild. Like they just put it on like hunt mode, you know, so it was just constantly popping out of areas. But I'm looking forward to, you know, playing this at like midnight, some night, you know, turning all the lights off, cranking the sound up, and getting through like a good 45 minutes without even, you know, talking to the alien. Like maybe I kill one or two soldiers, or I fix some puzzle, or I do some little platforming segment, and I'm just like, oh, let me go, and boom, this thing comes out of nowhere, and like, I'll crap my pants if that happens, because it's like if you have that long duration of time, much like Alien, like
that's indicative of the first film.
Alien's a very slow, you know, methodical movie, and so like when those beats do hit, you know, especially in the end when everything just goes to hell. Yeah, very excited. I hope certainly better than the last Alien game we got for leaps and bounds.
Yeah, and I was actually talking to him, and I was like, you know, I think a lot of people are happy to see the franchise and, you know, the gaming component of it go in this direction rather than, you know, the action shooter. This is definitely something completely different.
And not to get weepy, but we lost H.R. Geiger this year, so it's like, it's nice to have a final. It's nice to just, you definitely get a lot of elongated, you know, glances at this thing because you're like hiding behind something like, please don't find me, please don't find me, and it, you know, just with the yellow light spinning around in the background, steam shooting out of vents, like that is a gorgeous looking design. You know, they really they made it look cool. That thing is creepy.
We got to go to his bar one day in Europe.
Geiger's bar?
Yeah, have you seen pictures of it?
Well, we have to do that now because we've just recorded it, so we got to make it's a bet. We'll do that if the game gets a good score. But that's what's good about it. That's what's creepy.
Looking forward to it.
Wait, Sebastopol State, and we have a serious situation. We have a situation we're trying to contain. We are in lockdown.